Doki Doki Literature Club is a great game. This game did such a good job at delivering emotional and psychological fear into me that it was just insane playing it. I played Outlast not too long ago, and Doki Doki is so much more terrifying than Outlast is. Well, in my opinion anyways, I don't know if it's just the atmosphere that Doki gives or whatever, but to me, it was definitely one of the scarier games out there. But before the video begins, I do want to take a moment to say like and subscribe. It would really help out the channel a lot, and I hope you guys enjoy for this video. Anyways, with that being said, let's go into the first thing that I want to talk about. So, just in case you haven't played Doki Doki Literature Club, here's a quick summary of how it goes. The game starts you off by meeting your main character's childhood friend, Sayori, who wants you to join the club because social skills. At the end of the school day, she then suggests you to join her club, which is obviously the Literature Club. At the club, you meet Yuri the yandere, Natsuki the tsundere, and Monika, the club president. After talking to all four girls for a while, our main character finally decides to join the Literature Club. Once the school day ends, you walk home with Sayori because childhood friends. And at home, you write poems by choosing words you think specific characters would like. For example, Natsuki likes cute things, Yuri likes dark things, and Sayori likes expressive things. Depending on who you impress the most with your poem will trigger different cutscenes with different characters. After a few in-game days of this, the game starts to seem a bit off. The music will go distorted at random or cut off when you reach specific parts in the game. People's poems will have deeper meanings that will make sense later on, such as Sayori and Yuri's poems. Sayori then starts acting weird alongside with Monika, who is also acting a bit weird. Eventually you learn that despite acting upbeat and happy all the time, Sayori is actually severely depressed. She also confesses that she has feelings for her main character. After her confession, the main character is given the choice to accept Sayori's confession or completely friendzone her. Choosing either of these options will lead the main character to wake her up the next day, but with very obvious hints that something bad has happened. As the music cuts out, the screen goes black with nothing but the main character's dialogue. You gently open the door to see Sayori hanging from the ceiling with a rope around her neck and bloody hands as a distorted theme plays in the background and the main character is freaking out. And then the game ends. Boom. Then, that's the whole summary. Or so you would think if the game actually ended there. Ha lol. You can start a new game, but this time Sayori is gone and the world around you seems unstable. Natsuki and Yuri seem to be over-obsessive, and Monika seems to know a bit too much. An over-obsessive Yuri eventually confesses her love to our main character, and we again have the option to accept or reject her. Choosing any of these options will lead Yuri to stab herself either because of rejection or even adrenaline. The game starts to lag out a bit until Monika eventually shows up. This is the point where we learn that Monika is actually self-aware and even deletes Natsuki before teleporting both of you to space, even going as far to call you by your Steam account name. After a bit of dialogue, the player can choose to delete Monika at any time. Doing this will result in Monika being deleted, surprise surprise, and will restart the game with Sayori, Yuri, and Natsuki, but no Monika. The game restarts this time with Sayori as club president, and she eventually becomes self-aware. Her becoming self-aware will lead to Sayori taking you back up to space and glitching the game out. Then out of nowhere, Monika comes back and deletes everybody and everything in a last attempt to save our main character. And then we get a cool little song.
Every day I imagine a future where I can be with you.
After this, the game breaks itself and we can no longer play it again unless we delete the first run file in the game. And yeah, that's basically the end of it. That's basically the whole summary of the game in, I want to say like 5 minutes. So yeah, it can be confusing just hearing somebody explain it. Anyways, that's basically my summary of the game, so let's get straight into the next segment of this video. The reason this game gave me so much psychological fear inside is the fact that I know that mental illnesses are a real thing. Anything that's happening in this game can happen in real life. Well, I mean, other than people being able to program other people. But that's the exact reason why there's a warning at the beginning of this video. That's the exact reason there's a warning at the beginning of the game. Because they know that not everybody can handle mental illnesses and, you know, problems that can happen in real life 100%. Problems that are happening in the real life 100%. 100%. It's the sad truth, and honestly, it's really hard to deal with. But it's that kind of fear that made me feel that this game was so great in delivering, a good fear factor into the mix. You have people like Sayori who act, happy all the time, but in reality, they're depressed. You have people like Yuri who openly show it, and you have people like Natsuki who are being neglected by their parents. This game is not scared of going deep into those kinds of issues, and is probably one of the reasons why I really like the game. And it puts you into this fight or flight mode that now that one girl has died, any other could be next. And of course, these scenarios aren't for everybody. Some people can't handle them, which is exactly why there's a warning at the beginning of the game. But remember, I am not making this video to trigger anyone. This is merely a video about a horror visual novel. So with that being said, let's just go back to the video. This game has a surprising amount of secrets in it. You can easily find them anywhere. Some are easy to find and some aren't that easy to find. There are tons of secrets hidden in game files, dialogue, in-game scenes, and even the poems. These secrets give players a good variety of things to find and think about. The amount of secrets this game has is insane, and they are definitely an upside to what makes this game amazing. You can literally find them anywhere. Even experimenting with the gameplay, there are some secrets hidden. Deleting Monica at the beginning of the game will lead you to a secret ending, and doing specific things in the middle of game will lead you to a special ending. Just the fact that a game can have this many secrets in it is awesome, and I really enjoy them. Anyways, this was a pretty short segment, so let's get on to the next segment. In my opinion, this game definitely had a lot of talk about fate, and sometimes fate isn't always good. The fact that no matter what you did in the game, Sayori will always die. Yuri was always gonna die. Natsuki, maybe that one's a bit different, but you get the point. No matter what Monica did, she was never meant to be the main love interest. Unless, of course, she was your love interest, but, that's different. But the fact that Monica tried so hard to change the ending of the game, but yet she couldn't change it no matter what, is an amazing example of fate. The game was programmed to have us spend more time with Sayori, Yuri, and Natsuki, and no matter what Monica did or will do, she was never meant to spend time with MC. Even in the end where most of us delete her, she never really spent time with MC. She spent it with us, the player. In my opinion, fate changes the way you decide to change it. If you enter a spelling bee and you don't study, then your fate might be to lose that spelling bee. But if you study for that spelling bee, then your fate changes and you are getting closer and closer to the fate of winning. I don't know, when it comes to fate, I like it. Alright, so yeah, anyways, this was also a really short thing, so let's get straight into the next segment. So, a lot of you watching this video have probably already played Doki Doki Literature Club, but those of you who haven't are probably wondering if you should even consider playing it. I personally think that you should play it. It's an amazing game that's very well made. It's fun, it's scary, and there's a lot of secrets that you can find, like I mentioned before. The game is so good that people consider it a masterpiece, and honestly, I would totally agree. Everything from the music to the visuals fits the game perfectly, and when the game does eventually go dark, it transitions in such a perfect way that fits the game perfectly. Obviously, there are some gruesome scenes that you might be better off without, so if you're lighthearted, then maybe don't play it. But if you think you can handle it, I would say go for it, because this game was amazing. I don't know, I think the game is amazing, and honestly, I feel like playing it did the gamer in me a huge favor. So should you play Doki Doki Literature Club? Yes. It's free, so there's not really a reason why not to. So if you're lighthearted, be careful about some scenes, but you should be fine other than that. And with that being said, let's go into the outro. With all that being said, Doki Doki is an amazing game and you should definitely play it. It was tons of fun for me and I really enjoyed it personally. But yeah, that's basically all I really have to say. So if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, all that stuff. Share the video around with any fellow Doki Doki fans. And if you're still watching and have any ideas of what I should make a video on next, definitely comment them down below. I'll look at them and I'll consider them. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say for this video and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.
Okay, Boomer. Whatever you say, Boomer. Okay, Boomer. Okie dokie, Boomer.